Viewers, welcome to this video. Shot on the 14th of July, 2018 AD. In this video, we'll be presenting to you a very nice cassette tape recorder. Enjoy. In front of this electronic test equipment lies a little set for recording sounds. You'll notice two items: a leather cased item and a very nifty microphone. Now, normally the microphone is stored in this pouch and can be taken out for use. Now you'll notice this mic has an interesting style to it. You know, it looks like it's got a handle so you can hold it nicely, and if you can't already tell, it's a very well made all metal microphone. But let's add some more showings to this interesting mic. Notice you can adjust the tilt. Not only that, but it has a little miniature tripod. But then you think, oh, but the thing on the bottom is too long. Don't worry, that can be adjusted. Push this little button and move it up. Kind of like one of those umbrellas. And there you go. You have a little tripod for the microphone, so you can easily place it on a table and aim the microphone and make recordings. But that's not enough. You can also pull the microphone out long like an antenna. And you can stand the microphone up, although the microphone tends to not want to stay all the way stood up like this. But you can stand the microphone up high, or you can put the little tripods down. You can put the microphone out like this, and you can hold it up to people when you're interviewing them. Excellent for reporting. Notice the microphone has a DIN connector. So we know this tape recorder is European. Now, onto the unit itself. Nicely enough, this is not just one of those simulated leather cabinets, but is an actual, real leather cabinet. As you can see, the actual leather there on the other side. It also has the kind of texture you would expect from real leather. So let's go ahead and reveal this unit. You can see indeed it is a cassette tape recorder, but it is also upside down. You can see the perforations for the speaker, and right here is a tape counter with the counter reset button located next to it. Also, you can adjust the strap length of the microphone holder. On the side, you'll notice two DIN connectors. On the rear, you also will notice two DIN connectors. Here you can see the unit has been removed from the leather case. And you can see a decent glimpse of the machine. Emphasis right now on the front. It has a decibel meter, which unfortunately tends to get stuck in around there, and I have to kind of tap it to unstick it or give it a strong signal. It has a volume control for both record and playback volume, rewind, record, in which you have to press record and play at the same time to engage recording, or just record if you want to set up your levels first. Stop/eject, playback, fast forward. Then you have this button here, automatic level control and not very sensitive. Manual level control, where you can adjust the recording level with the volume. Limiter, which adjusts where you can adjust the recording level with the volume control, but also has an automatic level control at the same time to keep it from overdriving too much. And then this button here, where when it's pushed in, the meter will monitor the battery level and it will play back audibly through the speaker. If this button is out, the recorder will be able to make recordings and will also be able to show the playback level on the meter as you have a line output connected to it without playing through the built-in speaker. So now let's go ahead and load a tape. Now this unit is running on original parts, and the only problem I have it mainly is a fast forward tends to not want to start up right away because I think the lubrication is a little bit dry and the gear takes a while before it to kind of physically move over and engage. And the other problem is it's probably not as sensitive as it should be, so it might need some new electrolytics. But the amplifier does work, so let's play a recording I made on it.
Hello there, listeners. You're listening to a recording made on an ML Riporter R7a Hungarian cassette tape recorder from I think around 1979 or 1980, around there. This is a very interesting cassette tape recorder, and although it contains a 4-track, as in a typical stereo cassette head, it's a monophonic recorder recording on both those tracks at the same time.
The recording level wasn't very strong in that recording, so the meter is in its stuck mode.
Someone, for example, interesting cassette tape recorder, and although it contains a 4-track, as in a typical stereo cassette head, it's a monophonic recorder recording on both those tracks at the same time. This unit boasts 2 microphone inputs, so that, say if you're interviewing someone, for example, each person could have their own microphone to speak to, but they are both mixed down to a mono signal to be recorded. This unit has cue and review, and automatic and manual level control, as well as a limiter function. And it also is nice in that it has a decibel meter. And this unit runs on 6 D-size batteries or DC 9-volt supply hooked up through a DIN connector on the back. I don't know the pinout. I'm ready to roll. And it comes with a very cool little microphone as well, which will be shown. The downside of this recorder, however, is that it does not have a mechanical pause feature or any pause feature for that matter. Although you can go into record mode by just pushing the red button down without engaging the playback, without engaging the transport into forward motion, and you can have it in that position to set the level first. Right now it's an automatic level control. Now when it's set to automatic, it's not very sensitive and I have to speak up close to the mic. Now that's turned off and I'm in manual level control with the levels set all the way up, and I'm overdriving it slightly.
Now, out of curiosity, let's see the meter movement deflect for that little bit of the recording, because that's a lot stronger.
Speak up close to the mic. Now that's driving it slightly. I'll turn the level down. then I'm overdriving it slightly. I'll turn the level down some to where the meter is not being overdriven. And then I'll turn on a limiter function in which I can speak up close and it should overdrive less. Testing 1, 2, 3. Level set all the way up. It's overdriving slightly but not very much. Testing 1, 2, 3. Today's date is 5 less. Testing 1, 2, 3. Today's date is the 14th of July of the year 2018. I hope you enjoyed this recording.
So anyway, it's a pretty good quality recorder, and I believe it is also a dual flywheel design, so it can be moved around a lot while it's running, and it shouldn't affect the speed stability. Now, you saw in the video earlier the tape ground to a halt, accompanied by a whining noise. I believe that's because of an end of tape alarm, and I remember having the cover off this machine to look at the inside, and there was a little lead weight, so I think it had something to do with position. But also, if I take the tape out, it will do an alarm to let you know, hey, there's no tape inside. I think I may have said end of tape alarm earlier, but I meant to say an alarm that sounds when there is no tape inside. The odd thing about this recorder, and something that I would call a design flaw of sorts, is the fact that the end of tape, not end of tape, the lack of tape alarm, the lack of cassette alarm lever that tells the machine that it doesn't have a tape is located right where a chrome sensor is. So I've put a chrome cassette in there, and you'll hear the alarm at the same time the tape plays, which is kind of crazy. So if you want to use a chromium dioxide cassette, you'll have to cover up the right portion here of the hole in order to push the sensor lever. But with a normal bias cassette, you won't have that problem.
The 14th.
And of course, this unit is AC bias and AC erase. Let's go ahead and show making a recording on this unit. We'll push the record button in first. Now you'll notice that we're not getting any deflection on the meter. Actually, I haven't tried if it records, even if you don't see the meter, with this button pushed in, we'll see. Test! Hello! This is a test!
14th. Test! Hello! This is a test!
Okay, so it does record even whenever you're not monitoring the meter, and it just shows a battery level. But the problem there, of course, is you can't monitor the level. So if you want to monitor the level, you turn this function off, so you're not monitoring the battery. If you look closely at this button, it actually shows a symbol of a speaker next to a symbol for a battery. The limiter one shows a waveform, and then a waveform with a little line through it. The ALC shows the same kind of symbol that the record button has, interestingly enough. Okay, so we have the unit where I can set the level. It's in manual level control. I can get my little microphone here. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing, hello. I know this is a bad handling because I'm freaking holding the recorder at an angle where the camera's seeing it good. My other hand is holding the mic. And anyway, I'll put the mic down. Matter of fact, I'll raise the mic, and I can reach my face to it better. Put it into record. Hello! Hello, this is a test again, live on video of the Riporter R7a cassette tape recorder by ML. When I was looking up on the internet about recorders by ML, it looked like they're all professional type recorders made for use by reporters in studios and so forth. I saw some very interesting minimalist styled gray colored reel-to-reel portable machines on the internet by ML, which I would strongly love to be able to get my hands on one of those machines someday because they look amazing. If anyone out there has one of those that they'd like to part with, just let me know, because I'm very interested in those ML reel-to-reel tape recorders. But anyway, this is a very nice recorder, and although it has an all-metal case, except for the front piece, the disappointing factor is the fact that the transport mechanism, although having some metal parts, the main chassis of the transport mechanism is plastic, which is a little disappointing, and actually is apparently an import from Japan. But the electronics are definitely European, and it's very interesting to have a Hungarian-made tape recorder, as I've never owned a Hungarian tape recorder before, and it was an extremely intriguing thing to find this machine on eBay. Okay, so we'll play that back. You know, because I'm very interested in those ML reel-to-reel tape recorders. But anyway, this is a very nice recorder, and although it has an all-metal case, except for the front piece, the disappointing factor is the fact that the transport mechanism, although having some metal parts, the main chassis of the transport mechanism is plastic, which is a little disappointing, and actually is apparently an import from Japan. But the electronics are definitely European. Anyway, you can see some inside the well there. The gears, plastic gears. Notice the transport still moves even though the no tape alarm is engaged. Let's fast forward. And that's rewind. When I first got this machine and I first powered it on, I didn't have a cassette in there, and I thought something that the record play switch was making a bad contact or something was causing some oscillation, until it dawned on me that it may have been an alarm. And once I put a tape in there, the beeping went away. Next, we'll show how this unit records music. demonstrating the function. You should be able to hear my voice now because I have the microphone plugged in to the recorder. At the same time, I have the line coming into the other input, or actually technically it's attenuated, but it's coming into the other input. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video showing this very interesting cassette tape recorder, the ML R7a, Hungarian made cassette tape recorder intended to be used by reporters and interviewers.